Hello guys, welcome once again. In this video I'm going to show you how to use while loop in C++. So while loop is other kind of loop other than for loop, which I have already shown you in the last videos. So let's see how we can use while loop. So the syntax of while loop is while, and you give this curly or parenthesis, and then you give these curly braces. Okay, so this is the syntax of while loop, and what this while loop does is it loops around uh, the condition until and unless the condition is met. So let me show you an example. I will take integer called x is equal to 1, for example, and I will say while x is less than or equal to 5, then print some value. So I will say cout and x and line. And now when I run this program, let's see what happens. So when I run this program, you can see there are so many values printing one after another. So this is because our while loop is executing. So because we have given this condition that x should be less than and equal to. So while this condition is true, x will be printed. Otherwise, x will not be printed. So let's give some logic to this while loop. So I will say x plus plus. So that increment the value of x by 1. So once again, when you compile and run the program, it will print 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? Because what it's doing is it's going, because we initialize x by 1, it will go to the loop and it sees x is less than 1, and then it increases or increments the value of x by 1, which is 1 plus 1 is 2. So it prints 2 here using this statement, and once again loops around this loop and sees 2 is still less than or equal to 5, and then it increments the value by 1 and it prints it, and once again it loops around and it checks the condition, and once and again when it sees that x, the value of x at the time of 6 is less than or equal to, this is not this condition is not fulfilled, then it goes out of the loop and returns 0. So this is how you can use while loop. Let me show you a better example than this. So let's say you have some number. So I will declare my number as number is equal to 0, because I initialize this number by 0 in order to eliminate any garbage values. And I will also declare a third variable called sum. Okay, and that also I initialize by 0. Now I want to input, I want that user should input the value, so I will say cout input any value, and I will end this line, and then I will say cin. So I will wait for the user to enter the value, and this cin will be stored in the variable number. Okay, then I want to add all the numbers. So I will say sum is equal to sum plus number. Okay. So what it will do is it will give, or it will take the value and make the sum of these numbers unless and until I don't, disobey this condition, which is x is equal to or less than 5, right? So I will say this condition and I will print the sum here. So I will say the sum is equal to, and once again sum, which is our variable name. Okay. So this loop will ask 5 times to enter the values, and once this values are entered by the user, then it will take the sum of the values and it will print it here. Or otherwise you can show this sum outside the loop so that you have the sum only once but not 5 or 6 times. So let's try and run this program once again. And it says input any value. I will enter 10. Once again it's asking me input any value. 20. Once again 30, 40 and 50, and press enter, and it says me the sum is 150, right? This should be equal to, that's why it's showing us a plus sign here, but it should be ideally equal to. So in this way you can take the sum of the values using while loop. Okay. Or otherwise, if you want while loop to never end, you can give some condition which will never be fulfilled. For example, you can just write something like this, while 1. So this while 1, generally programmers use it to make an infinite loop. Just compile the program and run it, and it says please enter any values. I will keep on entering values and it will never end, because this one or while one is never ending loop. So I will never go out of this loop. Okay, so I will keep on entering the value and it will never end. So if you want to make infinite loop, just make it like this, or otherwise just make a loop which has some condition, and loop can exit when the condition is